like when he had a lot of his early success, he did that while having like 15 hours past 2 weeks in the game.
Into this game, okay, this is the set that I watched. There was a huge pop-up from Spectre because he got a 3-1 over J44L, who brought Fozy to game 5, right? So this pool has just been completely stacked the entire time. And now going into game number 1 here, Spectre on the Ulgrim, and then we've got Skeldra on the Jayun. So the Mako like hover there, his most reported legend is Mako, but the Jayun's been what he's been playing for the majority of today. So I'm going to be interested to see if that's going to stay that way as we get into the game number 1 here at Miami Dome, and that neutral stick disarms Spectre right off the top of the stage.
Again, a great sword main that is right now kind of having a super strong start with sword only, and as you can see, he is going to be picking up that greatsword for a change of pace right here, and now we're going to be able to see what this greatsword is all about.
Oh, I'm super excited to see if Skeldra's implemented any of these dash cancel or pivot dash cancel openings with greatsword to be able to get some of these sidelight openers, because people have talked a lot about how, like, oh, with a new dash movement, you can get out of a lot of greatsword strings, but how many more opportunities to open opponents up are there? That's going to be exciting to see.
And Spectre, I feel like Spectre is kind of more a player, like he needs to, Spectre needs to find the flow of the game. Like he needs to find what kind of flow is my teammate playing, and then he or my opponent player, he matches that, and then that is where he really starts to shine. And so seeing a, you know, quote-unquote weak start from here from him, I don't think is very unexpected.
Yes.
I think Spectre will be turning up.
Like I said, lots of pools matches today that I watched from him. Lots of game 5 for a reason. It's because he needs that ramp up to be able to get into it, and it's looking like that's going to be the case here in game number 1. But Skeldra playing fantastic himself, mostly on the sword, like you said, despite being that great sword main. But the D-Light recovery comes through. I think that's 2 sword knockouts that he's had so far this game.
Yeah. Swapping over to the greatsword though, but I mean that is kind of the play with Jayun. Like you wanna get that damage build up on the greatsword and then swap over to that sword. It's just like, you know, he got Spectre's orange and he's swapping to that sword. Like how much of a greatsword main is he really? Maybe this is just, you know, he does not want to play greatsword into Axe Lance.
Right, and because we just happen to have such a Lance-heavy bracket, that just might be the case. Goes for that recovery back to the stage, holds on. Okay, that's going to be the stock, and Spectre might be warming up here in the middle of game number 1, getting that knockout off on the right side. Now waiting to see what weapon's going to come through here. It's the sword that's been primed up, Spectre on the Lance himself. Let's see how this moves forward here, going into game number 1. Really close footsies being played right now.
He threw that weapon throw without seeing a new weapon come in. He completely gambled that he was going to get the next one.
Yeah, and it didn't cost him too bad. Oh, no fast fall on that dare. Second dare works out though. Good read on the down tick, but that's the 3-piece coming up from the greatsword. That's a ton of damage and knockback. When you get that finisher after the opener and the bridge, the greatsword does just that much more damage. So we've got ourselves a very close game 1. Weapon throw pickup. Doesn't get the recovery though. That was a great attempt coming up from Skeldra.
Spectre now on the LAN as both players.
I love when you see that. You dodge, and then use the tail end of the dodge to gravity cancel in the end line unarmed. Gets that extra bit of damage. Great play by Skeldra, but still so close, Paulie. Oh!
Spectre starting to look for these knockout moves, as Skeldra has the advantage though. He's knocked Spectre so far off. He's looking for a D-Light.
D-Light recovery will just do it, right? He's looking for that right now. Down airs him. Oh, I was surprised he didn't bounce him into it. He looks for it. Spectre knows that he's fishing for the downlight. Gets the side air. This could be the edge guard, Paulie. Spectre playing so well around the moves. He didn't touch. He did. Okay. Gets the jump back. Gets the dodge back. It's now a one-hit game for either player. Recovery hits.
He knows the Sears are coming out. He knows that the Sears are coming out.
Wow.
As soon as you're in mid, I mean, that's what you're going to be looking out for if you're against the LAN player.
I mean, it was truly a one-hit game there because we were looking for those D-Light recoveries coming out from Skeldra. And Skeldra kind of shaking his head there, being like, it should not have been that close.
It should not have been that close.
And Spectre over there, I feel like he's kind of in that situation where he's like, okay, I figured it out. Every game after this is going to be a 2-stock. That's how I feel like the energy's coming out from Spectre. So I would be a little worried if I was in Skeldra's position right now.
Skeldra was like, I feel like during this game, Skeldra was very, very good at setting up, like winning positions, but then he just didn't play them that well. Whereas Spectre played them super well whenever he got them.
I love that moment on the camera there, because you saw Spectre literally look to turn to the side and put his hand over his heart because it was beating so fast. Really intense game 1 coming up from there. And yeah, Spectre definitely really gets into these games here. So we're going to Apocalypse, still in the Ulgrim, still against the Jayun. I wonder if the Mako will come through here, but I honestly don't think so. It's been so divided between Sword and Greatsword here that I think that Skeldra's game plan is to stay with the Jayun the entire way through.
It looks like it so far. Like he's not really leaning towards any kind of weapon right now. And also the signatures, the N-Sig at the beginning of the last game.
Yeah, right.
So far, though, he had a really, really good start last time around, but now Spectre is turning up the heat. He's looking for those Sayers.
Nice
We're
dodge.
seeing a lot of whiffs right here.
I love that he used the D-Light bridge to dodge the attack from Spectre. That was really sick. Oh, is that going to be the stock? Ooh. Nicely done. That slight neutral light finisher didn't always used to hit at that knockback angle. That was something that got adjusted rather recently. And that angle of knockback is just a slightly earlier KO when you can get that finisher there. So really nicely done by Skeldra. Taking the lead here again in game number 2.
Taking the early lead. Spectre able to find that Sair though, able to get that stock off. He has Skeldra still has that small damage lead.
It's so small though.
Spectre has the weapon opportunity, and just like that, he's able to even it out.
D-Light and Light pretending like that he's playing Frax on 9 decks there, right? I mean, coming out there, and now with that sideline to down air. Another sideline to dare. Sider comes through.
Oh my god.
Past the dodge just to stop the momentum of the knockback there. Gets it back, manages to make it through, but if Spectre was able to get that end sig, that could have been a great edgeguard opportunity. Perfect weapon spawn, but Spectre's actually punishing them. He's waiting for the weapon spawns, letting Skeldra go to it, and then getting the hit afterwards. Working out so well here, and I feel like Spectre's about to steal the lead. Sider comes through, one more edgeguard. This could be it.
Oh, he's chasing. Gets the recovery. It's not going to be just enough though, and Skeldra's back on the ground. He has
that angle from the
edgeguard is set up.
Recovery.
Able to find the recovery.
Knocks out the weapon.
These are the opportunities that Skeldra needs to start winning though.
Yeah.
He had like 2 really, really big opportunities. Here's another one. But Spectre just steals it from him, and he's able to find that knockout. Skeldra could have gotten a knockout on maybe 4 or 5 occasions there.
And now I'm a little worried for Skeldra in this sense, because Spectre has shown to me in multiple sets today. Okay, great. My worries are gone. I was wondering if Skeldra was going to be able to clean up after that last stock there because of how close it was, and he goes straight into the D-Light recovery, brings it down to an even game, lands with that side air, doesn't go for anything afterwards, but there we see it. That dash cancel right there, that's what I was looking to see what Skeldra was going to be able to do here with the Greatsword, and he was getting those hits, repositioning, and trying to get more off of it, but Spectre, unfazed,
oh my god,
loves that down air down tick. That's twice that we've seen him connect with that.
And Skeldra had a small damage lead, but if you're against an Olgrim that knows what they're doing in the neutral, they're going to steal that from you real quick. Skeldra now, big opportunity, has the anti-air set up, isn't able to catch the landing, but he gets a follow-up instead.
The Endlight stacked, he didn't know what to do with it. But I think he's had enough damage where the D-Light recovery's not going to do it, but the next one will. The Sider goes all the way up there to catch the landing, is trying to babysit his recovery, and that ground pound, oh no way, Spectre tried to go out there
that
with
was
the
too
D-Light.
greedy. He's so lucky Spectre wasn't able to punish that. He goes for the preemptive end sig,
recovery. Is
and
that
could be it. It will be indeed. And that is 2-0 on the scoreboard. Skeldra is still in the game.
I gotta admit, I feel like Skeldra's just barely scraping by with a lot of these wins.
He keeps shaking his head.
Yeah, and
in every single game.
Because I think all the games are starting off with a really solid lead for Skeldra, and then Spectre starts to figure something out, and then he just claws it back. I loved how Skeldra played with the Greatsword and neutral there. That landing nair is not an easy thing to connect with. And then being able to get that gravity cancel D-Light recovery, so fantastic. And then we saw the D-Light recovery and the big change up here. I thought the combo was over. He chases Spectre all the way up into the sky, and then stares him right afterwards. Really fantastic edgeguard to be able to get that 2-0 lead, and it's a 2-0 lead.
It's a 2-0 lead. And Skeldra, I would say Skeldra is feeling good, but Skeldra has been he's been shaking his head between every single game, and we are seeing the legend swap.
Huh. Okay. I wonder if this I can't really make much sense out of this.
I can't make much sense out of this.
Because I was looking at Brawlhalla and I was like, wait, Greatsword players love Brawlhalla. He could be just picking the Akuma because he's up 2-0, but let's see how this plays out here. He's now got the gauntlets. The sword, I think, has been doing a lot of work while he was playing the Jaehyun. He's up 2-0, and now he's got the Akuma. Epic crossover for Val. So we'll be seeing gauntlets and sword coming out here against Spectre, who has got to win 3 games in a row to have a chance to not be knocked out here, because this is on the elimination side.
I just figured it out. He's a Greatsword player.
Yeah.
Greatsword players hate Greatsword. They all think it sucks.
That's too meta for me. I mean, you might be onto something, but oh my goodness, that down sig, little hopeful. Spectre ends up siding him for it. D-Light recovery. Could chase him all the way up to the top of the stage there, but he does not quite get it. And now with the gauntlets in hand, try to gravity cancel sideline. Spectre barrels right through with the down air. Recovery takes him off the top, and he's got the first lead on the first stock of the set. Usually Spectre goes down on the first stock.
Yeah, but it's those encounters, man. When they're both starting to get red, Spectre is so much more efficient at finding those knockouts. And I mean, he is on Olgrim, so you know, that definitely helps him in that regard. And he's actually getting quite a large damage lead right here. Trying to land Skeldra, but it's not going to work.
Yeah.
There's also one thing. Skeldra is kind of immune to getting lambs. Like, we haven't seen any like crazy 0 to death, any like 6 hits in a row.
Yeah, but I don't think Spectre's playstyle is really refined around that. I think Spectre's got, if we were talking about like the new wave of Lance versus the old wave of Lance, he reminds me a lot of how Ogrim was played in EU back in the 2018 and 2020 days, where you get these solid 1 or 2 piece hits and then a huge signature read. Sideline side air, not enough knockback there, but he's going to be able to get this edge guard pretty soon, I feel like. Yeah. That could be it. Dodge forced. I mean, okay, that's a little too hard on the read. Playing like
that's
Fozy.
that's a little too much. He's able to find that Sarah though, and that's just the thing, man. Skeldra.
Dude, I'm losing my mind over this Akuma pick. I'm wondering if it had something to do with the fact that he saw Brawlhalla that was picked, but that's not really the case.
The sword is working out well, but I don't know what to think about these gauntlets.
Yeah, we'll just have to see as the set plays out. I've been expecting him to go back to Greatsword after this, but Spectre looks so much more comfortable now that he doesn't fight against the Greatsword. Nair does not punish that gravity cancel down signature, but Spectre still almost has him in orange at this point. Oh, nice side air.
Spectre able to get back. Now controlling the ground, but Skeldra gets that deal recovery. It's going to be a knockout, and please killing onto the sword.
Yeah, and this is technically close enough on Brawlhalla where I think it could go either way. It's going to be a matter of Spectre being able to get, okay, well
now, you know. Also with the double recovery, and that's a quick knockout. Spectre,
I mean,
still in the game, and Skeldra is scratching his head. He's either wondering, why did I pick Akuma, or he's wondering what comes after picking Akuma.
It could be a case where games 1 and 2, because he was shaking his head, he was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have won that, and I need to find an answer to the fact that Spectre's about to reverse 3-0 but I don't know about that one. Spectre
I feel like you're onto something.
He felt super close, because we were watching those games where it was kind of like, oh, he was losing until he won on the last stock, and he didn't look too happy with how he was playing. But Spectre in that matchup was super comfortable. I mean, sidelight Nair recovery, and then he gets this recovery on the falling here, right there, baits him out, he dashes forward, dashes back, jumps, gets that recovery in there, and Skeldra's kind of like, okay, my stock got deleted. And he's right back to the J-Yun here on Apocalypse. He could be a weird, like, I've always, because of North American Greatsword, I was like, oh, Demon Island and Brawlhalla every single time, but he might actually just like playing Greatsword only on platform stages. I don't know. We'll have to talk about him afterwards, because he's right back over to the J-Yun, and we'll see how this game 4 goes as Spectre shows signs of life.
And I feel like still we're probably going to be seeing a sword heavy Skeldra coming out here. Spectre with a beautiful offstage though.
That's
and another hit. That is actually, that is going to be it. Almost thought he had a chance to get back.
Yeah, no diagonal dodge is going to come back in Apocalypse. I mean, if we didn't have like the slants on the walls there at the very end, like if this was like Mammoth Fortress, maybe. But no, that was a phenomenal edge guard. Several side airs, and then the dare at the very end to get the angle to where the dodge back wouldn't be able to do it, and Spectre's running away with game number 4.
Yeah, that is really Spectre's strong suit. Those edge guards and finding the knockouts. Man, he's good at that. Oh, he tried to go for the recovery, but Spectre preemptively throwing out the dare beautifully.
He's destroying him with unarmed. Lance comes through, no dodge. That sidelight stare guaranteed. Goes up the sider again. He has to use that dodge to be able to get the momentum back.
Not again, dude. Oh. Spectre is still in the game. 3 stocks against 1, and Skeldra has a mountain to climb ahead of him.
I mean, this is exactly the narrative that you were pitching to, right? Where Spectre tends to be that ramp-up player. We see him go down 0-2 in a lot of these sets. He now loses his first stock of the game, but this is against the character that he's lost 2 games against, and this is the best that he's looked so far in the set. I mean, his Lance is playing incredible, and you were saying we haven't really been seeing Skeldra get lanced. Well, that's how he's been getting all of these stocks, right? 4 stairs to a down air, side air into a ground pound, has the Lance once again. Skeldra can't get anything started, Paulie.
This also just mentally is where Spectre has just such a massive advantage. He has the momentum. Skeldra also potentially maybe haven't been playing on stage that much, maybe starting to get a little bit nervous right now. He feels it slipping out of his hands, and he knows he needs to do something right now.
Yeah.
He tries to go for the signature, and it connects.
Side stick does connect, not early enough to knock out there, but it was a really great read. I guess he was hoping for that stuff recovery.
Oh, he has no options.
Yeah, that's it. That's like,
that is a wonder hit.
I felt like it was like a jump stuff recovery too. That was a phenomenal Sair. Those are the Sairs that you wish to have in it. And a great sword side air. Wow, that chase dodge right afterwards was phenomenal. After that Sair came through, but the down stick breaks up the pressure. It looks like Skeldra's trying to have a little bit of that comeback potential here, Paul. He's looking good. He just has to avoid every single move in Ax's kit.
And he's doing so very, very, very well. He watched out the desync isn't connecting, the Sears, the recoveries, none of it is connecting. Skeldra is finally doing such a good job at avoiding all of these knockout moves.
Recovery.
And he is building up his damage very well.
Oh,
looking out for the Sears, and he dodges it. He gets the string,
Goes to the
but it's
down
not
air.
enough to find the knockout. He gets the second one.
He dodges the instant
it.
misses, and then he doesn't have the dodge, and he puts his hands on his head. I think his dodge was up to be able to dodge that. That was just a moment of like after the second sidelight comes through, he just wasn't ready for Spectre to do it again.
And they're both laughing. They know that was a crazy game. It was any man's game.
I mean, that was the best I think we've seen Skeldra play on the Greatsword there when it comes to the reads that he was going for after his openings. Seeing that side air, at the moment that I was talking about the, because you get the diagonal down knockback, and at very low damage, he chase dodged diagonally afterwards, waited till he landed on the ground, and then tried to convert it into a Greatsword string there with an opener. It was fantastic play. We're going to see this edge guard here where you just can't make that dodge back. Yeah, so close. But, when you know, Spectre didn't even go that for that edge guard. He was already getting ready to weapon starve in that situation. This is interesting.
Skeldra at the end, man. He blew up.
Yeah, he did. But we're on Brawlhalla now, and he's staying with the Jayun. So, like, oh man, Paulie, imagine that random Akuma while up 2-0 just completely throws out the momentum of his set. Like, look at Spectre go. Downsing down air. Could get another downsing here on this landing, and without the platform there, Skeldra's kind of playing he's having some trouble getting in.
Yeah. Spectre's movement is looking very crisp right now, and he's finding a lot of damage, and Skeldra can't break that neutral bubble that Spectre has formed.
Okay, opportunity here. Tries to go for it. Okay, gets 4 hits. Doesn't get the finisher on either one of those hits, and the weapon throw forward just gets dodged out of the way. Good recovery. Sword picked up. He's got a few D-Light recoveries before he's able to knock out Spectre off the top, and Spectre's just looking for that one opening that will get him that knockout.
He is catching up in terms of damage, able to find that weapon throw. Recovery isn't going to connect, though. And they're just chasing after each other. Yeah. Rather, Skeldra is chasing after all of the misses Spectre's doing. Like, Spectre's winning the mental game. He's just throwing out attacks because he knows Skeldra is like so shaky, he's not able to find these punishes.
The thing is, though, is that I feel the same level of nerves from Spectre now that his back is against the wall. With this Game 5 and how Game 4 went, I think both players are actually playing more careful than we've seen all set. He drops a D-Light recovery at red. Okay, Skeldra's actually just nervous as heck. Recovery dodges as well. Spectre taking advantage of that. Sidelight, side air coming through.
Not true anymore.
Not true, but I mean, if you're not dodging, if you're hitting Sidelight Sarah on Lance with a dodge up, you might as well go for an axe as well.
Good Sarah, though, able to throw him off stage. And this is it right here. Skeldra giving up the advantage position and letting Spectre get back up. And he's going to have to pay the price.
Okay, nice pickup recovery there. You fade down right before you land, get the recovery to start into stage, and then you rise up afterwards, be able to get that knockout. Greatsword's so great at being able to do that. But he's got a mountain to climb here on this comeback. As Spectre, okay, that's good side air punish. I want to talk a little bit about what makes Greatsword unique compared to most weapons. Besides like a axe down air or a cannon dare, most moves don't have landing animations when they come down onto the stage. But with Greatsword in this case, all those moves, if you land with them, you can combo them into bridges. We haven't seen Skeldra do that too much, but right there, he gets a great hit there, and he's able to bring this back quite well. Doesn't like to go for those down airs, but that side light finisher could have taken Spectre stock.
He's finding a lot of damage here on the Greatsword, and he's able to get the dare nair as well.
Oh, the nair hits! Skeldra's brought it back. And now with that knockout off the top, that's a crazy early stock for how far he's been behind, and Spectre's now at his tournament stock. This is an elimination quarterfinal. Loser of this is out 33rd. Winner of this goes in the top 32.
And Skeldra, in one of the most deciding moments of the entire set, finally has a lead over Spectre. But Spectre, we've said it time and time again, he's so good at finding these knockouts, and he's looking for that D-Sig.
He might be fishing a little too hard for it this time. Two nairs in a row. Those down-sigs might be getting a little obvious. Side there. Lands on the ground.
Skeldra's maneuvering has leveled up out of nowhere here as well. Spectre able to find that Seer, though, taking that stock off. He's in the orange, but he has the weapon advantage. All it takes is for Skeldra to fail getting that weapon, but he gets the good.
Spectre takes a moment to take a deep breath, and now we've got ourselves a last stock situation, and it's close enough that I feel like it could go either way. Skeldra getting in there without the sword, lands with the recovery, D-Light recovery. Can he babysit the landing? Sider hits. It's all Skeldra here on this last stock. He has to throw the weapon up to cover his landing, and he goes for an Ensig read. Recovery comes through, and Paulie, I think one more hit off the top of the stage could be it.
He's just throwing out the anti-air. He just needs one more super good hit right now. Spectre not able to get that weapon off. Scratch that D-Light into axe nair.
D-Lights to go and pick up the axe. That was crazy creative. Oh, sidelight nair. Sidelight nair recovery.
He gets the weapon, but it's not enough.
Okay, one more recovery will be able to do it. He's looking for that downlight. Another unarmed nair comes through. One lance nair. He's not able to hit. He's one hit away for Skeldra.
Yeah, but
hits.
Spectre is getting closer and closer, and he has a lance in hand. If he sets up a
There's
good advantage with the
edge
wheel.
guard. Goes in for the downer.
He gets
Skeldra
back,
recovers
though.
high. Does he go for the edge guard? No, there's no way. He's going to wait for Spectre to come back. Dodge is gone. Recovery hits, and that's it. Skeldra clutches
And
it.
Skeldra is taking out Spectre. He's still in the game. His run is still alive. After a valiant effort, Spectre is unfortunately not going to be able to proceed in the bracket.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to turn around and be like, what was that Akuma pick in game number 3? Well, you know what? Hey, he made it a close set.
I'm gonna have to ask him.